welcome back to a new segment of Boring or Masterpiece. Today, we're talking about Asteroid City, directed by Wes Anderson. My question is it a boring or a masterpiece?
I mean, that really is the question.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's hard for me to say, honestly. I don't know. For me, personally,
Yeah.
I think it leans more towards boring than a masterpiece, dude.
Yeah, I think was a boring. It definitely was a little more boring for me compared to his other films. You know, Asteroid City has everything that you would want in a Wes Anderson to expect from a Wes Anderson movie, like all the visual stuff. That's the only thing that really stood out to me was all the visual stuff, but it's pretty pretentious.
Yeah.
It's like his most pretentious movie, by a long shot. And then it's not even like he's doing all this pretentious shit and then it comes to a cathartic ending where you're satisfied. It just kind of stays flat, and then you're just kind of waiting for something to kind of happen. There's little interesting visual stuff going on, and then it just kind of just goes especially in the end there when they're
I never felt like it went like that.
It
was always just like that.
It was just it was kind of okay, interesting. They're setting it up, this story, this quirky little town, and you got what's his name, Dillon playing the mechanic. I like that scene, and and it's okay, that's an interesting little build, and then it's just kind of you get these little vignette cross cutting between characters, and it's almost like they're setting up different stories, but each story never has any ending to them. It just kind of all just falls off.
Yeah.
That was my initial thoughts on the picture, but it wasn't a satisfying Wes Anderson movie. I think it's my least favorite one that I've seen, and it's kind of controversial, but some people like this movie.
Yeah, some people swear by this movie and love it. I'm not gonna fault anyone for loving it. If you got something that you really liked out of it, that's fine. It just didn't do it for me compared to his other work. I think it might be definitely on the weaker side of his filmography.
Yeah,
and I felt there was no overarching story or message. Royal Tenenbaum, the story, it flows and it's concise and it's about him trying to reconnect with his family and right his wrongs at the end of his life, right?
Yeah.
Same with Life Aquatic or something like that. Rushmore, they all have a distinct story. This was here's the story is we're trying to find meaning in within a this whole structure just fucked up this story, dude.
Yeah, it was so he's trying to be so deconstructionalist that it's almost too much. I don't know, it didn't really work for me. But even when you're naming his other movies, even a movie like Darjeeling Limited, it's not necessarily a story. It's not necessarily a plot, but it's still about these three brothers riding on a train and kind of coming to terms with the fact that their father died, and it's them interacting with each other and kind of coming to a catharsis point, a breaking point, and they're okay, we're going to finally decide to go see the mother.
Yeah.
Whereas in Asteroid City, there's no payoff.
No.
There's no and the only story in there's only the only story in this is Jason Schwartzman telling his kids that their mom died.
Telling his kids that their mom died, and Tom Hanks trying to help them through it. But all that's totally undermined by the fact that the whole story is about a play, about a movie.
Yeah.
The whole structure is written by a playwright. The guy plays it's played by Edward Norton. He comes up with this story and he casts these actors, and all the actors you see in Asteroid City are actors that were cast to play those roles in the play Asteroid City. It made dude. I didn't want to say it made no sense, but it was just so stupid and just so unnecessary to anything. But I feel the message he's trying to go with, right? So this leads into the point where it's nowadays, there's things are oversaturated with Rick and Morty or multiverse or all that shit, that totally capitalize on that, and this kind of existential nihilism that our culture kind of has of do things matter? But when even if things matter, is that okay that things don't matter? Can you find comfort in the fact that nothing matters and we live our life, and that's what he's trying to get at in this movie, but it just falls so fucking flat.
But why would you have that message in a 1950s movie? It's 1950s, but is it alternate 1950s or something. Like, why? The thing is, like, that's a very modern, like, philosophy. The nihilism stuff is a very modern thing. But, like, having that in a 1950s setting where we're dealing with, like, American exceptionalism, like, right after World War II, when we're dealing with, like, you know, this, like, place where they're, like, dropping nukes and stuff. It's supposed to be, like, a more... I don't know what he was trying to say with that. And then also, I think Wes Anderson was going a little nuts either when he wrote this movie or when he was like making it. Because usually when he writes with Roman Coppola, like I feel like he's like a good writing partner and he like can like really hold him back. So I think he's a good writing partner for him. I don't know what they were thinking when they were writing the script. That like Wes Anderson's like, yeah, we're gonna have this sequence where they're like, you can't go to sleep if you don't wait, or you can't. What do they fucking say at the end there? Where they're like the black and white part where they're all like panning into all of the actors and they're like. You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
You can't, like, that has no connection with anything in the whole movie, dude.
Yeah. You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep.
I feel like he wasn't able to.
Dude, I was falling asleep during that part, and I was like, are they trying to get me to fall asleep? Is that, like, his grand plan?
Yeah, and like, all these actors are just there with Wes Anderson being like, I'm in a Wes Anderson movie. I don't care if it doesn't make any fucking sense, if it's like fucking stupid. Yeah. I'm still gonna do all this. I'm gonna say all this stuff in it. Wes Anderson's, you know, his clout that like he gets all these actors to make this movie that was just totally like it wasn't it, dude. It wasn't it. But I will say like the visual stuff, like all of that, like is so the production design. I mean, you come to expect that from a Wes Anderson picture. Like you come in expecting that, but you also want to have like a fun, good time, you know?
You do. It's like a promise of like charming movie that hits you a little harder than you expect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this didn't hit at all.
No.
I felt like I was impressed with certain aspects of the film. Sometimes I laughed. I did like the scene where it is Jason Schwartzman and Margot Robbie on the balcony.
Yeah, and I was like, when is Margot Robbie gonna come in here? And she only has like one scene, but it's a good scene. But I'm like, oh damn, like
I felt like that's the best part. That's the closest you're gonna come to a payoff.
Yeah,
where it's like it was clever how like the whole story is like about how like they're making a play about Asteroid City. But like Asteroid City is like giving the audience.
Play, though.
What?
It's not a play though. It's like what? It's not a play.
It's a play, yeah.
I know it's a play, but it's like what? It doesn't make. It's like we're seeing the outside production of this play that's actually a movie, but a movie is not a play, and a play is not a movie. Usually, it would be like it should be. Oh, here's a play, and then the movie is about the making of the play. But instead, it's like the opposite. It doesn't like. Fit.
No, but I thought that was clever because I feel like sometimes the play tells us things about the making of the play. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how she was able to deliver that line on the balcony when she was in a different building, like
that's
talking
cool.
to him. Like I thought that was cool. Like that Margot Robbie scene was the best part for me. But then like
no, I like the scenes that I like. There's just cool moments in this movie, like when the alien comes down. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty interesting. It was like so quirky. Like, but characters. The thing about the characters is that they weren't even like likable. So they were kind of just like annoying, like especially like the kids, like his like son is just like a really awkward, like in the middle of puberty type kid who's just like oh wow, and they're all just like spitting a bunch of shit about science and stuff, but there's nothing like you can connect with the characters that make him sort of likable. They're kind of just like annoying to me.
Yeah. And
he just kind of does like the West, like he was. I don't know what he was going for. I guess it's just kind of like an artistic splat of like him just being like throw it all at the wall or like just do something like maybe I think he kind of lost his mind a little bit or just something happened, like he maybe had a mental breakdown or something, because it's just not as tightly knit as like, I mean, everything is his style like on a visual level so tightly knit, and then even like Grand Budapest Hotel, it's like a guy telling a story in a story.
Yeah.
You know, and so tightly in the way that they cut in and out of that is like so tightly knit.
It's so good.
Yeah,
dude.
But like Asteroid City is like doing that, but it's not. It's kind of messy, bro. Yeah. And then, but he's like being so specific about the scene numbers. Like, why do we need to know that this is scene 5 through 8 or 5 through 7? Like, why do we? It's fine to have the epilogue chapter titles, you know, but you don't.
Yeah, it was like very quirky. You know?
Yeah, it was too. I mean, I know it was too quirky for me, but people like that, so I'm not I'm not gonna knock him on that. The story is that it's a play that's in black and white. It's about a dad and his kids going to this the center of the desert where there's a scientific fair or something.
Yeah.
And then when they go to this fair, there's other families there. And then they get stuck in the desert because an alien visits, so because the government shuts it down for quarantine. And that's literally that's what happens in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens, dude.
Yeah. And there's a ton of famous people in it.
Oh my god, dude. It doesn't even feel like they're in scenes, though. It doesn't feel like they're cast to do anything other than
oh, that's Jeff Goldblum. Oh, that's Adrien Brody.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. When Jeff Goldblum showed up, they're like, Jeff Goldblum's the alien. And my whole theater was like, oh my god. Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, he's not the alien because the alien is stop motion in the movie, so it doesn't even translate over.
Yeah.
What?
But I mean, he's supposed to be playing it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what was the influences of this.
Yeah. French Dispatch was so
much better.
It's so good.
It's actually fun to watch. Yeah. And, fast paced and it's it's almost like his fastest movie. This one.
It's okay. Here's the setting, right? It's a newspaper company, and then it's 3 different stories, and it all makes sense. It ties together, and it feels very distinct, and it flows very well, and it has distinct French New Wave and French cinema influences within it. This is bleh.
Yeah, this is I don't know. If people didn't like French Dispatch, and they see this, dude, French Dispatch, I liked it a lot. I think it was really creative and cool.
And, me too.
Fun to watch. And then it does, the other thing is that it's okay, we're going, it's the journal or the newspaper company. It's okay, these are our best stories. And then it goes into the story and then it comes back out. And it's the frame story, and it does it really well.
Yeah.
With this, it just doesn't connect. The play to movie just does not work for me.
No, it's all
work.
Tangled up and shit.
Yeah. And then the government, military, and then there's the kid who doesn't. It's just little vignettes.
It's Steve Carell's in it. Steve Carell's the guy trying to sell he's the hotel owner or whatever. And
Maya Hawke is why don't we get back to the lesson plan, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, has nothing happens with that. There's only they just start playing music and she starts dancing with the guy from The Death of Stalin.
Oh, that's that guy, dude. Oh, that's why he's so familiar. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but
he's great in that. Yeah.
None of the stories have any resolution.
Yeah.
And then they just the quarantine is off and they leave, and there's nothing is discovered or whatever.
No, but that's that's what the message is trying to be, right? It's kind of positive existentialism in a way, but it doesn't land. It doesn't. No. It's not like Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know what I mean? Where that message is clear throughout the picture and it lands. This is bleh.
Yeah. No, but the characters are not likable. That's probably one thing that I actually just didn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't think they were that cool in it. They were just doing Wes Anderson without any sort of thing that they're just kind of a little annoying, honestly.
Jason Schwartzman was he's a good actor in it.
Yeah.
I can see he's carrying his weight, you know what I mean? But like you said, I feel it's Jason Schwartzman didn't have room to breathe because every little fucking scene is look, it's this person cast in this.
Yeah.
Look, it's Adrien Brody shows up.
Yeah,
Look at this. Edward Norton is making out with Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, I don't think he was challenged. I don't think Wes Anderson was really challenged enough on this movie, dude.
Yeah.
I think all the actors were just down to say the lines the way that he wanted him. And Roman Coppola, I don't know, usually they have really good scripts and shit, dude.
Yeah.
But I think he just was, I don't even know, man. I mean, it's cool that he's experimenting. I'm not gonna knock Wes Anderson from making some weird shit and
I'm always gonna be in the theater to see it.
Yeah.
I'm no matter what, no matter how many people think Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch, this movie or bad movie, I'm always gonna see his movies.
But this one, it just wasn't it for me, dude.
Yeah.
Can't recommend it.
I think I like Isle of Dogs more than this.
Yeah. Isle of Dogs is cooler.
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs is
has a distinct story too.
Yeah, Isle of Dogs. I probably even Bottle Rocket more.
Yeah.
And Bottle Rocket's a funny little. It's not even necessarily a Wes Anderson movie. It wasn't even
But I love it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. I don't know. We should do a Wes Anderson ranking video.
I'm down. Super down.